Before this video begins, for legal reasons, I'm legally required to say that this video does contain spoilers for Minecraft Dungeons. So if you don't want spoilers, then this probably ain't the video for you, sorry. But yeah, if you haven't seen my first video, you could check that out. I'll put the link in the description. I reviewed Minecraft Dungeons. This was when I got pretty far in the game, but I wasn't exactly done with it. I hadn't beaten the game yet, and I was in the middle of doing that as I was making that video a couple days ago. But I finally beat it. The gameplay in the background is not my first time beating it. What I wanted to address was my friend said that this was a pretty short game, and I've heard others say that it's a short game. For me and my other friend though, this was not a very short game at all. It took us a couple days to beat it, whereas they say it took them a couple hours. It might depend on us playing multiplayer, because of the difficulty becomes harder if you play with multiple people at a time. But yeah, it wasn't too short of a story for us. We kept grinding and kept trying to get better tools, better armor, better weapons. And let me tell you, the last mission still is pretty difficult. Even with that, we tried the hardest difficulty, we couldn't get too far. Then we tried the lowest difficulty on here, and we still had a tough time. So if you're planning on playing this game and planning on beating it, you've got to keep going and trying to get the best weapons possible, the best artifacts, and the best armor that you could possibly get. Because the last mission can definitely be challenging. You can see in the background that I am just mopping the floors. Not to brag or anything, I'm just saying that my point is that you gotta definitely get better weapons. And that's, like I said, the gameplay in the background is not my first time. This is after I got enchantment points and things like that. A weapon I recommend is the Venom Glaive. I believe you could find it on the Desert Temple and the Swamp mission. It's a unique weapon, so it'll probably drop not as often. But if you do happen to get on those two missions, I guarantee you'll like this weapon. It's a glaive, so it reaches out farther, and it has poison cloud effect, and it doesn't even take up enchanting points. So if you run into a Venom Glaive that has 2 or maybe even 3 enchanting spaces, you can give it a ton of power-ups and it'll be super powerful. I gave mine Shockwave, and I forgot the other enchantment I got. It probably pops up on the screen though. Oh yeah, I got Leeching for it. So I could heal myself and I could also push back enemies. It's a really good weapon. If you're looking to get a high level weapon, a really effective weapon to battle on this map, or just go against higher difficulty levels, I recommend the Venom Glaive, because it just cuts through them like butter at easy difficulties at least. Higher difficulties, it's still pretty good. Now, what I wanted to say about the boss fight, at the very end, yes, the boss fight will be on this video and later. I strongly encourage that you get a good ranged weapon, a crossbow, a bow, anything like that. Because you're going to need that, and you're going to need to save your arrows for this boss fight. Trying to hit it up close with a melee weapon is really not that effective on this boss fight. Oh, you'll see why later on. And my overall opinion on this game, I think it still stands as last time. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's the lag like I said last time, really is not the game's fault. It's really just our internet. We don't have the best of internet in times like these. But yeah, the game does run smoothly if you're going offline, or if you have good internet, I imagine it'll be just as smooth. And the game's not really glitchy at all. The only two glitches I have found was one time we saw a couple of the enemies just frozen in place, not doing anything. But we think we broke the game because we accidentally like passed a ton of mobs. Or not accidentally, we passed a ton of mobs. And we believe that might have broken the game a little bit. And the other glitch I saw was an iron golem managed to freeze in place and glitch out. Other than those two small glitches, it's been perfect. There's no glitches, it's been running fine. I gotta say again, the art style, the style of the game, the lighting, everything, I'm loving it. Now, what else was I gonna say? Oh yes, difficulty. The thing with replayability on this game is important because, you know, you got three main difficulties. You got default, adventure, and apocalypse, and each difficulty has their own difficulties within it. Like, for example, on defaults, there's default 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even then, you can make it easier or harder. And when you first start the game, you only have default difficulty. You don't have apocalypse, you don't have adventure, you just have default. But once you beat the game, once you get to this very last mission and beat it, you unlock only adventure mode, which is harder than default and has harder difficulties within it, such as adventure 1, adventure 2, etc. And then once you beat the game on adventure, then you unlock apocalypse. So you can beat the game over and over again, but it'll get harder and harder. There's going to be more weapons, more enemies, more harder enemies, and a lot of more levels. Not levels as missions, but leveling up is what I mean. And you can play the same missions on either harder or easier. You can still explore a ton of missions. There's also, I will say that there's also secret missions you can unlock. I only found one, but I did hear a rumor that there was others. So if you're playing a mission and you're trying to find secret missions, make sure to keep your eye on the map. Look around for paths that you that aren't really that noticeable. They're kind of hidden, and try and find some secret levels if you want something new and something cool. For example, there's a secret level in the Creeper Woods, and that secret level, you can, once you find it and play it, it's an underground sort of tomb kind of level with a ton of emeralds in there. So there's a lot of benefits to finding secret levels, such as a huge amount of emeralds to be gained. And if that's what you're into, finding secrets and stuff, this game definitely has some for you if you're a secret hunter, I guess. Not to mention the DLCs. The DLCs are going to be coming out. I know there's at least two. There's at least two coming out. There might be more. And I'm not exactly sure what these DLCs are going to be, if it's going to be entirely new map or just one mission. But looking at the game so far, I doubt they'll cower it out and put only one new mission. I bet they're going to release a ton of new missions, especially since I heard it's approximately $5. $5 for one mission doesn't seem like that much of a good deal. So I imagine they're going to release a ton of new missions with these DLCs. And I am looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the DLCs coming out. There's going to be some good stuff coming up ahead, I believe. And you could also see later on in the clip of here, once I beat the boss fight, you'll see the ending, which the ending is just wholesome itself. I really like the ending. It was a happy one. It's a pretty good ending. But it also hints at other things as well to come by. Like I said, you'll see what I mean. It hints at maybe a second game. If there is going to be a Minecraft Dungeons 2, it's definitely not coming soon. I'm not even sure if there will be one. I'm not saying there is going to be one. I'm saying that the possibility is there because of the ending hints at stuff. But the ending could also just be hinting at DLCs coming in the future. But either way, I had a great time playing this game. I still am playing it, and I'm still having a great time playing it. And I really do look forward to see what this game has to offer in the future when it comes to DLC, more difficulties, and who knows, maybe another game years to come. Last time I voted 9 out of 10 for this game, and I gotta say, I still keep a 9 for it. Possibly a 10. I'm thinking about it. There really isn't much issues with it at all. One criticism is that it's short, which I guess in the sense of how much missions you can play, it can be short in that sense. So I guess it's a good criticism. But yeah, it's really not too short of a game. If you're playing on I don't know, it can be pretty difficult, especially this last mission. Like all the other missions are a breeze, a walk in the park. You play on the lowest difficulty. But the last mission, it's just cranks that shit up to 100. And here's the boss fight. You can see he's pretty easy to hit. Remember, there's spoilers. I said in the beginning, there's spoilers. So he's pretty easy to kill. And then you see this animation. My friend and I, when we were first playing this, I was like, yeah, we killed the kid. Until this monstrosity came out. And you could see, even now, as I leveled up, as I figured out, as I'm sort of familiar with his tactics since I beat him last time, he could still beat my ass pretty good. He's still damaging me a lot. And I did die through this playthrough once. So yeah, don't expect it a lot. Most of the game will be a breeze. It'll be pretty easy. This last boss, you really gotta prepare yourself. And you could see that walking up to him is gonna be a huge challenge. Walking up and trying to use a melee weapon on him. That's not gonna really work too well. So if you wanna beat this boss, you're gonna have to get a ranged weapon. And like I'm showing right now, I'm looking for enchantments that will help me with ranged attacks, because that's gonna be critical on beating this boss. I got him pretty weak, and so with that artifact, I beat him pretty easy, and then this happens. You gotta appreciate the soundtrack, and the lighting on this. I think that was great, that huge flash, and then it just like that nice jingle. It's like dun dun dun. Whenever you beat him, I don't know. And then there's the ending, which, like I said, it's wholesome.
The Arch-Illager, the enemy of the villagers, was defeated.
You can see the orb is shattered, so it can no longer have any powers.
Great heroes saved the day and vanquished evil.
I knew this was gonna happen too. When I saw them walking up to him, I was like, watch. And my god. That was fucking wholesome.
Until it wasn't.
But pay attention to this. The orb of dominance reforms, and you could hear a lot of Enderman like screams. And we didn't really see much end mobs in this game. We did see Endermen that were mini bosses, which they were pretty scary and hard to fight off. But I feel like for some reason that hints at maybe us going to the end in a DLC or something. Only time will tell, really. Me personally, though, I feel like the end is going to definitely play a role in this game later. And we could see here that there's going to be after you beat the missions, this wasn't here before, but if you take these paths, you could see pistons that weren't there before, and you could go over here. This wasn't here before, it's only there after you beat the last mission. You could see a nether portal. And I obviously see that this is going to hint at a DLC. Possibly going to the nether, because I was like, oh, where's the nether mobs? And then I saw this. So I bet the nether's going to be a DLC, maybe the end too. And I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to see what it brings to the table once again. And I still give it a 9 out of 10. It's great and I love it. I can't wait to see more of it. If you played it, why not tell me your thoughts, your ideas on what might happen later, and tell me your opinion on the game overall. I thank you guys for watching. I'll probably make some videos of this myself, some gameplay. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review as much as I enjoyed the game, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.